And good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Another beautiful day here in the mountains. Um, you can probably see the sky is just the most amazing blue today. I'm going to just sit here and chatter on for a bit as people arrive. So when you do arrive, just please say hello so I know you're here and also where you're listening from. And also, if this is one of the first times you've been here or experienced anything from me, any of these meditations and the like, this is actually meditation number 36. I started doing these when the quarantine began, and I think I'm just going to keep doing them, even though in some places they're relaxing some of the rules. Not sure that's a really good idea at this point. I think there's just more political. I think it's more about the politics now than it is about what's actually safe and sane. But we don't really have any great information anyway. Which actually leads me kind of nicely into my subject that just came to me as I was setting this up to schedule it. That's always when the subject matter to focus on for this particular meditation comes up and comes to me, and it's peace and the sword. And as a matter of fact, the words just came to me, and I wasn't even really sure where to go with them. What is that, and how does that relate to this act of meditating that we're all engaged in? And a line from the Bible came to me from the New Testament. Christ, speaking to a bunch of people, said, I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword." Now, that's been very literally translated by a lot of fundamentalists, a lot of fundamentalist preachers in the United States who use it as a justification for America's endless wars. That's, of course, anybody, even a cursory look at Christ's life would would reveal that he wasn't the least bit interested in politics or our stupid wars. He was referring to something else. And the image that popped into my mind as I was pondering that was the sword that guards the gates to the Garden of Eden. When Adam and Eve were kicked out, there was this flaming two-edged sword that was that turned every which way to guard the entrance. That you had to get past that two-edged sword, and it immediately dawned on me that is what I've always referred to as this twofold path. The path of flow, the path that is neither one side nor another, that is transcendent of all opposites. On one side of that sword was the Vedanta, the precision, the higher reasoning, the kind of inquiry that we do, the neti, that I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not both of them, and I'm not neither of them. That in the meditation, what do? We continually withdraw from everything we're seeing. Right? That's the Vedantic path. That's the path of wisdom. And then, but there's another side to it, which is the path of love, compassion. The the Vedantic is the masculine. The tantric, and it's actually tantra. The genuine practice of the tantra is the feminine principle, the feminine energy, allowing, compassion, caring, and nurturing. Both of those must move in a flow. And that the sword is simply that which is cutting away everything that isn't you. And what remains? Peace. Because peace is your nature. I did a whole meditation on that the other early on. Peace isn't something you acquire, it's something that you realize. When all of the disturbances of the mind are seen through and let go of, when you no longer are identified with the conditioning, the robotic kind of conditioning that all of us were subject to, And that sense of identification with your conditioning is the central ignorance. I mean, that's eating the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil that got, and the consequence was the sense of having lost paradise, having, meaning peace, joy, heaven, fun, guiltlessness, purity. And so that's the fall from grace, is identification with conditioning. And this sword of truth cuts away all of that until nothing is left except that which cannot be lost. Your name can be lost. Your body can be lost. Your thoughts can be lost. Your memories can be lost. The functioning can be lost. This body does not work as well as it used to. It's not as quick-witted, right? These things are all lost. But in the midst of them is something that's watching it all come and watching it all go. Something that can't be lost. Well, what can't be lost? What is it that cannot possibly be lost? Well, that would be you. You can lose everything, but you can't lose yourself because you're not two, right? The finger can't touch itself. Why? Because it's one. The scale can't weigh itself because it's one. The sword, even the sword of truth, the double-edged sword of truth, can't cut itself because it's one. You can lose everything, but you can't lose you. And that's why that spiritual path of Vedanta, the cutting away, the cutting of the way, is cutting away everything that isn't you. Now that feels scary, for sure. The things you've relied on, the things you've trusted in, the way you've identified yourself, the way you've made yourself, how you felt about yourself, the image you've held of yourself. It's difficult to let all of those go, but none of those are original equipment. None of those are actually you. They're add-ons later, right? They're aftermarket, third-party add-ons. The spiritual journey is the courageous journey inward that loses everything until finally you arrive at the pure, untouchable you, that which can't be lost. It says in the Tao Te Ching that the person or the man of the world gains knowledge every day, but the seeker of the Tao loses knowledge every day. Everything falls away until what's left can't fall away, and that's the Tao. That which cannot be spoken, the essence of your entire being. And that brings peace. This is not the sword of war. Although the Christian tradition is full of all sorts of war metaphors and symbology. It's being absorbed into the West. The West is a very warrior-like group. I mean, America is without a doubt the most war-making country in all history. We've been at war constantly since World War II. Constantly. There's never really been a period of peace. There's always been something going on. It's insane, of course. This is not the true sword. The true sword is here, and it brings peace. And it sees through all of the illusions, not just yours, but the illusions that our culture suffers from. Our culture, our country, most of the countries of the world, everything in the West, the whole Western view of things, is an idea. It's a false idea. It's an egoic idea. And so as we cut through the illusions of ourselves, simultaneously, we are cutting through the illusions of the culture. We're cutting through all of the egoic tendencies and beliefs and addictions and greed that are creating the world that we all recognize now we can do better. We can do way better. So, without further ado, let's use this sword of truth and go to the place of peace, which Christ referred to as the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, and said very clearly, the kingdom of heaven does not come with observation. You can't see it. You can't say, look, it's over there, look, it's over there. Because the kingdom of heaven is within you. Let's go visit it. So close your eyes and give yourself permission to let go of your world for a moment. It'll be there when you come back, so don't worry. That means let go of all of the ideas, how you think things should be. Really. Lay all of your opinions and beliefs and ideas, no matter how cherished, on the altar of sacrifice. The sacrifice to truth. We recognize that human mind is so easily deceived, can so easily to cling to things that aren't true, just to feel safe. Just let yourself let go of all of that and simply feel your own inner space. Just feel that energy pattern that is the body. And as your attention is just there, remember that the body is always in this present moment. It doesn't have a past or a future. It doesn't know that. It's like a wild animal. It's completely in the now. So as you're increasingly just feeling that sense of being, just let go of all your memories as if they never happened. As if you just appeared right this moment, like Adam suddenly appearing in the garden, or Eve. And also let go of all of your future, your ambitions, the things you want to accomplish, the way you'd like the world to be. For a moment, we're just going to be completely empty. Any ideas or ambitions or memories. Just be here and now. That's perfectly natural as the attention is just focused in this energy field of the body. For the mind, the momentum of the mind to want to create a narrative or a story, just notice it. And notice that you are noticing it. It doesn't control you. That you have the power and authority to simply see it and keep your attention centered here in the now. Thoughts may even say it's something really important, but trust me, if it's really important, it'll be there when we're done. Don't worry about it in the slightest. And let go of any image you're holding of yourself, any ideas you're having about yourself, about who you are, what you are like, what you like, your preferences. Really, just all ideas are being set aside to experience directly the pureness of your being. This sense of isness, just you are. Nothing extra added. I just am. No name, no form, no past or future. Just this infinite expanse of right now. And just notice how quiet it gets. You're still here, right? You haven't gone anywhere. Without thought or reference to experience, thought or emotion or sensation, you're just here. You. Not somebody else, you. Not some thought of you, but the actual experience of your own being, with nothing extra added. Now, what does that feel like? Is it disturbed? Is it lacking something? Anything missing? Or is there this feeling of just being and being whole, complete? And we're not ignoring our experience. We're just withdrawing from it to get to know you, the one who's having the experience. Isn't it peaceful? Yeah, there can be all sorts of energy and flow of energy of all different kinds, positive and negative, running through sensations. But that's just what you are experiencing. We're interested in knowing the experiencer, the Tao that can't be spoken, losing everything, this that is left, that cannot ever be lost. Notice that it's quiet, quite still. This is you. This is you without anything extra added. This is not you as we normally define ourselves. Our sense of self, the ego, experience, relationships, all that's well and good. But that's what you experience. That's the various parts you play, the various costumes you wear. We're just taking off all the costumes for a moment to just be you. Peaceful. This process of simply withdrawing our attention away from experience, turning it towards the experiencer, that's the sword. That is Vedanta. It is higher reasoning or self-inquiry. And what do you find? Peace. Quiet. The kingdom of heaven. And it's what you find. It's not what you create. This wasn't made by anybody. This is what is. And because it's what is, it's the truth. This is what that sword has been guarding. Nothing gets here but the truth. The truth of you. The truth that is you. And just let yourself feel that. Attention just on that, your own self. And yes, thoughts come and go. Not a problem. The wind blows. It's not a problem. The birds chirp. A hummingbird buzzes my head. It's not a problem. Thoughts are not a problem. It's the flow of life. Sensations aren't a problem. Unless some thought says it's a problem. But without a thought, it's not a problem. Emotions aren't a problem. Whether they be intense, very strong, or very light and breezy. They are what is being experienced. Your roles in the world, relationships you have, the different functions you serve, the things that you have to do, they're not a problem. They're what's being experienced. But this is space without definition. This is you, the one having the experience. And you're always the one having the experience. Even if you're totally identified with what you're doing, and it feels like your attention is completely lost in it, you are still here. Because without you, there is no attention. There is no experience. There's nothing. This is your being. And you couldn't lose it if you tried. Because if you could lose it, it could be. So remember, as we now begin to come out of the focus of meditation, and meditation is simply focusing inward, away from all experience, in the humble and dedicated attempt to know the experiencer. That all we're doing now is turning our attention back upward. We're not leaving here. You can't leave you. You're always there. But our attention now gets mixed. It's going to get mixed with the world and what's going on now and your responsibilities for today. And all the memories and ambitions and all the stuff that makes up life is simply where attention is going. But attention is never not anchored here. So take a deep breath. Put a little Buddha smile on your face. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome home. Rosario. Bonjour, enjoy to meet you all. Thank you, GP, for your dedication to all of us. I just love doing it. I'm not sure it's dedicated. I just love doing it. How can you not share the thing that's been your greatest joy? Especially when you know it's free. It's like the Zen saying, I've spent my whole life selling water standing by a river. We're sitting in this ocean of purity and goodness and love, and we're wondering where the water is. You are the water, my friends. Anna Maria, hello from Poland. Hello, Anna. Brian, Virginia, Ava, good to see you, my love. Everybody loves Ava. She becomes Saint Ava or Santa Ava. How would you say that in Polish, Ava? Chris, hello. Hey, GP. Tuning in from Manchester in the UK. Bless you. Bless you too, sir. Bless you too. You know, I'm just seeing such a transformation. One of the things I just have to point it out because I was just feeling it from you, Chris. One of the things I really have to point out is one of the big transformations, unseen transformations that I'm seeing happening is in men. There's a softening in men. It's not a compromise of strength. It's not a weakening. It is the unbridled, kind of egoic masculinity that, the conqueror is obsolete. It's passing away. There's a whole new energy of the masculine that's emerging. I don't want to put any labels onto the sacred masculine and all of that kind of stuff. I don't want to put it in a box. I'm just feeling it. I'm seeing it in men. I'm feeling it in men, and I'm just kind of seeing this bubbling up, and it's just wonderful to see. Maybe I'll reinitiate my men's group. About 8 years ago, I started with Evan, my senior student, the Balls Project, which was just a program just for men. Maybe it's time to revive that. I probably got about 300 hours worth of videos on there. Maybe there's a place for it now. Anyway, it just kind of clued me in because I'm just seeing the kind of men that are appearing, especially in this non-duality. They're not weak. They're not kind of new age, candy-assed. But they're soft. There's a powerful, nurturing kind of thing. Anyway, just kind of going off on that. I'm just like feeling that energy from you, and I'm just delighted. Dorothy in Denmark. Hello. P.S. Hello, P.S. Anton in Sweden. Ida Catherine in north of Norway. Wow, that's way up there. Roberto in Madrid. Hello, Roberto. Janet in Glasgow. Anja, hello. Hello, all together. It's nice to be with you all. So great. Our little sangha here, right? Lillian, thank you for your message. You're so welcome, Lillian. Roberta says, where are we supposed to get to? How do we know we got there? Well, your mind, put your mind aside, right? Put your mind aside, because your mind is looking for a place, right? Oh, I'm here now, right? Like you're going to get on a train and go to your destination. What we're looking at is you. Are you not here, right? What we're getting to is simply experiencing ourselves without a bunch of extra stuff added on. But you're already here, right? And you know you're here. So there's no place for you to get to, okay? This is just, it's very subtle, right? But the mind is looking for an object, right? But you're not an object. And even if you were, you couldn't see yourself, right? Because, the scale can't weigh itself, right? You can't see yourself because you're one. And if you're going to get to someplace, there has to be two, right? But you're not two, you're one. And so we're simply feeling, can you feel yourself? Can you feel your body? That's where you're getting to. You're just aware of feeling your body. And you are aware of your body. That's the you, right? Just stick with that. It's that simple, right? And if anything I say seems to like distract you or confuse you, just ignore me, right? Just stay with the feeling of the body. All the words I speak during the meditation are only to keep your attention there. That's it. Starting in the body, and it'll gradually move inward. So even the body is an experience you're having. So you're not the body. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about any conclusions. Right? We are conquering the mind, right? Which has dominated the way we act and think and respond in the world. And the image in our minds of who we are is not who we are. Laura Ward, love to be here. Lovely to have you. Anja, could you say something about sinking the I am into the heart? Let me take a sip of my mate. A couple of the people who listen into satsang and these meditations from Argentina noticed that, are you drinking mate? Because this is a very common drink. This is where I learned it when I was going to Buenos Aires a lot. Matter of fact, we had a place down there for a while. Anyway, could you say something about sinking the I am into the heart? Yeah. The way to do that is, and it dovetails nice, peace and the sword, right? The sense of I am, right, isn't a thought. Right? We're moving away from thought to this sense, right? And there's that, and the way I do that is to go through the body. Right? By first just feeling the body. Now notice when you're feeling the body, your attention comes out of the head. It comes out of thought. Because the body is not a thought. And the body is not thinking. It is simply being. It's very present in this moment. So the moment that happens, the sense that I am has sunk into the more visceral. It's sunk into the earth, really. It's connected with Gaia, the mother goddess, right? So there's this very, very real presence there, right? Now, as that begins to transform what's going on here, what emerges is love. I mean, the heart, it simply means the center. That heart, consciousness, self, reality, love, all of those words were used synonymously by Ramana Maharshi, who's most famous for speaking about letting the I am sink into the heart. The heart being the center, the absolute center or reality of you, right? The heart of an issue, right? The heart of an idea is the essence of it. And that's not a thought, it's that sense of being. So it's not like the heart is just the seat of seat of emotions, but as the center of being. That's why the Heart Sutra is referred to as the heart of Buddhism. It is the essence, the center. In those 36 stanzas, the entirety of Buddhism is revealed and deconstructed into the pure wisdom of being. This place where it sinks into the heart, the essence of it, there's no need for teaching anymore. There's nothing left to learn. You have arrived at the place all teaching points to. So teaching are just the boats, the vehicles that you can now leave behind as you simply rest on the other shore, sipping Mai Tai. Roberta says, is it normal at this point I do not feel to be with people? Yes, absolutely. And that will come, and don't worry about it, yes. You know, most of the time, before we begin to awaken, we're dependent upon others. The ego is dependent upon others in order to reinforce itself. because it's so insubstantial. It cannot have a sense of self-confidence. It has to be getting constant feedback from others. So it needs others to confirm what it believes about itself. So it'll gravitate towards the people who confirm it and away from the people who contradict it. Right? Then if they're stupid. They don't know anything. And remember, the ego doesn't care whether it's being inflated or deflated, and whether it's a great self-image or a horrible self-image, as long as it's got a self-image and people to confirm it. So as you begin to withdraw from that, the true sense of you begins to dawn. There'll be a very natural withdrawing from people because you simply won't need the reinforcement of that anymore. As this deepens, the most remarkable thing happens is that other people do come into your life, but the relationships are different. It's not one of trying to get confirmation. It's one of genuine intimacy and sharing. Right? So it'll ebb and flow. There are times when I really like. Last night we had a little gathering of people I'm staying with. I rent a place from. Her daughter and grandson were here, and there's a neighbor over here. And we all got together for a belated Memorial Day. It was wonderful, wonderful. And now I'm totally alone, right? And I'll be alone most of the day, and then I'll be with some people. You know, it ebbs and flows. There's no rule. There's no rule to it anymore. Once you don't need that anymore. That is, the ego isn't dominant anymore, so you don't need to do this anymore. And the whole sense of relationship changes. Awareness says, "Thank you, GP. Please don't stop doing the meditations. I seldom catch them live, but I listen to all of them." Great. Wonderful. I am, as soon as I get some time, or I get an audio engineer who becomes a fan and wants to volunteer some time, to take all of these meditations as I'm doing them and make them available for download. Extract the meditations and the like, and put them together as a package that people can download for a donation. That would help me a lot. So I intend to keep doing it. It just happened so very naturally, and it just kind of worked, and everybody does seem to be getting a lot out of it. Roberto says, "Everything looks so deeply emotional to me. The most unusual situation: children walking around, elderly people crossing the street, dogs being walked, friends helping you out. Yeah, yes. This is the I am sinking into the heart, Roberto. This is the opening of the heart, and all your anxiety and stuff that was happening before, and probably still is to some degree, has been just a buffer from these kinds of feelings. I remember being very emotional a long time ago. It's finally balanced out, and I'd cry on the drop of a hat. I'd see something, it would just bring me to tears, just like a child playing with a ball, right? Somebody walking their dog, a couple holding hands. These things just the intensity of life when it's really seen through the eyes. That's what the experience we have is emotional. It's felt, right? And that's emotion connected to the depth of spirituality. It's not emotionality, because life is that visceral, it is that intense, and it is that beautiful. Cheryl, I love the birds. Yes, so do I. There's probably about 20 or 30 hummingbirds that I learned recently that hummingbirds, they do a very long migration. When they come back to the same house. If they've gone to some house and they're getting food there, they come back to exactly the same place. So sometimes I've actually had two of them. I think they were doing a little mating thing, like right here in front of my face. Oh, it was amazing to see. I sit out here all the time, so I've kind of become a fixture. They don't notice me anymore. Ava says, "Thank you, G. If I write in Polish, you wouldn't be able to read it. At the moment, I don't know how to write an English pronunciation. It will come, then I will write." Thank you, Ava. Yes, I know. It sounds like there's different songs. So, they have different ways of saying it. Anyway, Saint Ava. Alrighty. There's no more questions or comments. I will end it for today. Um, I will be doing my Healing the World open forum gathering kind of thing um, uh, tomorrow. An email went out yesterday. I'll be sending another reminder later today and tomorrow about it. It's just kind of an open forum for us to get together with the focused attention of bringing peace and healing to the whole world. And where two or more are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. And that I is the truth. That I is the same I that we visit when we go within. Um, that is the I am. It's not just you. That is, it's not you as a person. It is you as the impersonal I principle, the reality of all being. That's what we touch when we go inside. And that's why that it is eternal. And that's why that peace is absolutely unconquerable. Roberto says, thanks for your kindness, GP. Thank you for your persistence, Roberto. It's an honor to be helping you. Thank you. Waiting for tomorrow, says Ava. Anja says, lovely to be here. Great. So everyone, you have a wonderful, wonderful, safe, and happy day. And I will see you all tomorrow. Namaste.